The first time I saw Karen storming across my driveway, she had that same stiff walk I'd seen in the old school principal back when I was 12 and caught carving my initials into a desk. The kind of walk that tells you you're about to be scolded whether you did anything wrong or not. Her sunglasses were too big for her face, her clipboard tucked tight to her chest like she was marching into battle. I set down the box of tools I was carrying and leaned against my truck just to see what kind of performance she was about to put on. "You can't park that here," she announced, gesturing at my truck like it was a stray dog she'd caught rummaging through her trash. I smiled politely, trying to keep the edge out of my voice. "I'm parked on my own driveway. Don't think that's a problem." Her mouth tightened. "The HOA has clear rules. Commercial vehicles are not permitted to be parked in driveways overnight." "Well," I said slowly, wiping my hands on a rag, "good thing I'm not in your HOA." She blinked, like I had spoken a language she didn't understand. "What do you mean you're not in the HOA? Everyone on this street is in the HOA." I shrugged. "Not me. House was built before your development went in. Never signed up, never will. So your rules don't apply here." The way her face shifted, you'd think I had slapped her. Her lips went white, her nostrils flared, and her knuckles gripped that clipboard hard enough to snap it in half. She opened her mouth, shut it again, then finally managed to spit out, "We'll see about that." And off she went, clicking her heels all the way back across the road. I thought that was the end of it. But if you've ever lived near a Karen, you know better. They don't stop at a single battle. They gear up for war. Over the next few weeks, little things started happening. Notes left on my door in plastic sleeves, typed up with violations. My grass too tall. My trash bins left out too long. A boat trailer parked too close to the curb. Every note signed with the HOA letterhead. Everyone slipped into my door without so much as a knock. The kicker? Each letter had a fine attached. Now, I'm a patient man. 64 years on this earth teaches you not to lose your cool at every nuisance. But patience has its limits. So I walked those letters right back across the street, knocked on Karen's door, and when she appeared, I handed her the whole stack. "These aren't worth the paper they're printed on," I told her. "I don't belong to your HOA. Don't leave another one on my door." She puffed up, ready to argue, but I didn't give her the chance. I turned, walked away, and let the screen door close behind me. That should have been it. But then came the day she called the cops. It was a Saturday morning, cool breeze, sun just coming up. I had my garage door open, working on the old Harley that's been in my family since the 70s. I was elbow deep in grease when I heard the sirens. 2 squad cars pulled up in front of my house, lights flashing. "Sir," one officer said, approaching me cautiously, "we got a report of a stolen motorcycle being worked on at this address." I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the wrench. "A stolen motorcycle? Officer, this bike has been mine longer than you've been out of diapers." Karen came marching across the street, pointing like a prosecuting attorney. "That's the one. I told you, he's not supposed to be here. He's not in the HOA, and now he's stealing property." The officer turned to her, his face hardening. "Ma'am, you reported a felony. Are you absolutely certain about your claim?" I could see the gears turning in his head. False reports waste police time, and I knew enough to let him handle it. "Ma'am," he continued, "this vehicle is registered to him. He got the title. You understand filing a false report is a crime." Her face went pale, but her pride wouldn't let her back down. "He's breaking the rules," she insisted. "You have to do something." The officer sighed, turned back to me, and said quietly, "Sorry about this, sir. We'll be on our way." I thought maybe that humiliation would slow her down. But no, that woman doubled down. She started a campaign with her HOA board to try and force me into their association. Problem was the law was on my side. My property was exempt. I had the paperwork to prove it. But here's the thing about life. Sometimes it surprises you. A year later, the housing market dipped. Families started moving out. People couldn't afford the rising dues and endless fines the HOA piled on. Who do you think swooped in to buy a handful of those houses? Me. I've been saving for investment property, and the opportunity was just too good. The sweetest moment came when Karen's own house went up for sale. The irony nearly bowled me over. She fought to control every detail of this neighborhood, and in the end, she couldn't even afford to stay in it. So I bought it. The day she signed the papers, she refused to look at me. The realtor passed me the keys, and I just gave her a polite nod. Didn't need to rub it in. Life was doing that for me. A few months later, she came knocking on my door. Not with fines, not with threats, but with desperation. She needed a place to live, and rentals in the area were scarce. I'll admit, part of me wanted to turn her away. But another part of me, the part that believes in life teaching its own lessons, decided to play it different. You can rent for me, I told her. But the terms are mine. Triple market rent. You want it, you pay it. You don't, you find somewhere else. Her face went red, her jaw clenched. But she signed the lease. And, just like that, the woman who once tried to control me, who called the cops on me, who thought she held all the power, was writing me checks every month. Funny how life works. Now, I'm not telling you this story to gloat. Truth is, I don't take much joy in someone else's hardship. But I do take satisfaction in the lesson. Pride, control, and spite, they come back around eventually. You can spend your days trying to run other people's lives, but sooner or later, you'll find yourself answering for it. I still see Karen most months when the rent's due. She keeps her head down, signs the check, and leaves. I treat her with respect because I believe in dignity no matter what. But deep down, I hope she's learned what I had to learn a long time ago. Mind your own business. Live your own life. And for heaven's sake, don't pick battles you can't win. Because sometimes the man you try to boss around ends up being your landlord. And when that happens, well, you pay the price.